LBJ cussed like a sailor. Richard Nixon, they got the tapes. He cussing like a man going out of style. They're still the presidents of the United States. That doesn't, so yeah, to be quite simplistic and reductionistic, yes, obviously you can be a role model. Look at Richard Pryor, who used cursing in a very creative and interesting fashion, and yet who spoke about some of the most powerful social problems that prevail in American culture. Here's what we have to come to grips with. To be positive is not itself a virtue if it's not accompanied by serious, powerful art that forces us to reflect upon our society. All art should not make you feel good. Some art should get in your face. Some art should be irreverent. The point and purpose of art is not simply to make you feel warm and fuzzy. Some art ought to make you change your bigoted ways. Maybe you're a sexist. Some art can make you think about it. Maybe you're a racist. Some art can make you think about it. Some art then perpetuates the very legacy that it claims to want to resist. Should we be critical of it? Absolutely right. But I think if we're looking for either or, black or white answers, that's not it. I think that, yes, as Kanye West, look at Kanye West, who beat 50 Cent in this recent scrimmage for hip-hop supremacy. That's a mark of the maturity and the evolution of hip-hop, whereas 50 Cent, I don't know what you heard about me, but Can't Get a Dollar Out of Me was rejected in favor of a guy singing about Jesus. But even on a song singing about Jesus, right after that, he says, if this manager keeps assaulting me, I will be assaulting him, and after I mess the manager up, I'm going to shorten the cash register up. Even after he's singing One Glad Morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away. That's the convergence of complexity that manifests our conflicted lives. And I think hip-hop at its best, again, both reflects the pathologies that need to be rooted out and provides an answer through a scalpel of rhetoric to be able to dig into the body of the problem and see what the reality is. And I think at its best, it does that. And I think that, yes, you can be a positive, uplifting figure and not say anything, and you can be a so-called degraded figure who is not positive and say something profound and intelligent. And I think that what we have to do is to push for self-criticism. Misogyny, sexism, homophobia, racism, and the like need to be dealt with, articulated, and wrestled with regardless of what color they come in, regardless of what body they come in. But at the same time, as Mr. Banner is suggesting, we must not somehow quarantine the problem to young black people who, when they manifest the pathology, are seen as its origins. They are certainly, at the worst, seen as its continuation.
Let me thank all of you for your comments, and let me thank you, Mr. Chairman. And of course, I really feel that this discussion has been a very good one. And Mr. Chairman, I look forward to continue to work with you in this regard. Thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Mr. Crump, there's a lot of sickness in American society.
Right.
This Congress has a lot of work to do. Washington, D.C. has a lot of work to do. We have no child left behind, but the money isn't there. We're debating right now making sure that all children get health care, but the president's saying he'll veto that legislation. We have a lot of work to do in our country and here in Washington in order to make sure that every child in America is given the opportunity they need: education, health care, protection in the community. There's no debate over that. And I'm a liberal Democrat from Massachusetts. So on those things, that's what I come here to do every day. And we're fighting to make that possible. And the work that you do for Katrina in books, that's great. It really is. I guess the question I would ask you is, how can you work to have a positive message? Because they have to hear a positive message from Congress, too. There are people here fighting to get that positive message out, too. We're not successful in the short run. We have to continue to fight. What can you do? Because what you do in Katrina, unfortunately, what you do in some of these other things, kids in America don't hear about that. They should, but they don't. All they hear is your music. So what can you do, working with those of us here who are trying to get out a positive message, to try to put positive programs on the books? What can you do in your music to get out the positive message, to accent that? What can you do?
I actually call my music a Bible with a Playboy cover on it. And the one thing that I disagree with you about is kids know what I do. because I make sure that I get on BET, I make sure that I get on MTV, and as a matter of fact, one of the reasons why my last album probably didn't reach the place that it was supposed to reach, even though I had one of the biggest singles in the world, is because I didn't spend time promoting my album. I spent time promoting what was going on in Mississippi and the fact that people in Mississippi were being ignored. I think what happens, as a matter of fact, and I think if you talk to people in the crowd, people look at me as more of an activist now than they do as a rapper, and it sort of hurts my pocket, but that's fine.
Do you think that your music is consistent with
yes.
or undermining of the message you're sending on?
But actually, my music
is the music that you put out there consistent with or undermining of the message you're sending on Katrina?
My message is very consistent.
The message in your music?
Actually, if like I say, I call my music a Bible with a Playboy cover. I start here and I end in a different place. And what I will say real quick, I think part of the problem I see in Congress right here today, I look at the fact that we're debating about something that's so very important in our society, but our parents are gone. I'm looking at the seats. Our parents are gone. And as more questions are being asked, as important as people say that this is, our parents are gone. So we're left here again. It's probably by the end of this statement, it's going to probably be more of us than it will be of you guys. So once again, we're here to fend for ourselves again.
Can I
questions not being asked?
say this to you? Every time one of your videos play, there's not a video playing of your work in Katrina. There's not a video playing of this other message. All there is that one video, and that's what the young people in America see. What can you do in your videos, in your music, that helps to propel this more positive message out there at the same time? This Katrina message. What can you do?
It's funny that you say that because people always say that my videos are confusing because I always try to put something in my videos that I probably should spend more time being focused on the music at hand. What I will say is
can
this.
You do more? Can
I ask you a question?
Can you do more?
Yeah, I can do more.
No, let me ask you. Will you do more?
No, I'm doing more. I think it's better for me to become as big as 50 Cent. So instead of asking the Red Cross to do our hoods right, in which the Red Cross did not do our hoods right, I can do it myself with the finances that I have made. And what I will say, I am, and I had to admit this, after I talked to those preachers, I am like Stephen King. I do better at horror music. Horror music is what I do. You don't ask Will Smith to do the same. Well, while you're acting Will Smith, can you please make sure that you put some kind of message in your movie while you're acting and you're being a killer?
Okay.
We're musicians.
Look, we here in Washington have work to do. I come to work every single day trying to do better for the people that you're sending your message to. My question to you is, are you willing to try to do better in communicating a message that is more positive?
What I will say, I am willing to work harder to change the conditions in which I come out of, so maybe I won't have to talk about it. Maybe if we spent more time in the hood and being the fact that Mississippi is the most impoverished state in the union, maybe if my conditions change, I would have different things to talk about.
Can you get better?
I mean, I can get better if the situations get better.
So you're not.
Can we make the situations better? I'm only speaking about what I see in my neighborhood.
Well,
change the situation in my neighborhood, and maybe I would have something else to talk about.
That is what we are working to do.
And I'm not being combative. It's just painful. It's just painful to me that we go through situations as African Americans, and it's like we first of all, we were brought here as slaves. We were thrown in situations, and now we're talking about the stuff that we see. And it's like, it's a big problem. Everything there's nothing that you can look at in my music and say that it doesn't exist in my community. Like, that's all I'm asking is let's really address the real problem. Because the truth is, everyone who points a finger from that perspective, we can probably trace something back to each and every family that helps affect the music that I'm talking about.
Children don't always see it every day the way you do. And the question that you have, and I think we all have to do, and Washington has a responsibility, is to create a sense that there is hope, that there's a reason to believe that you can